नंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे प्रभुपाद 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री शेष दिवार ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन पीवीटी फाउंडर आचार्य इस डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री शेष डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजोहि वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज भागवत महापुराण की जय। गौर ब्रह्मानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assemble devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to assemble devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to assemble devotees Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayadmudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 36. Is it 36? 36? विजयाभिमुखो राजा श्रुत्वैतद् अभियातियान् बलिं तस्मै हरन्त्यग्रे राजाना पृथवे यथा विजयाभिमुखो राजा श्रुत्वैतद् अभियातियान् बलिं तस्मै हरन्त्यग्रे राजाना पृथवे यथा विजयाभिमुखो राजा श्रुत्वैतद्भियाति रान् बलिं तस्मै हरन्त्यग्रे राजाना पृथवे यथा विजयाभिमुखो राजा विजयाभिमुखो राजा Mataji's? What word meaning? Vijaya Abhimukha, one who is about to start for victory. Raja, king, Sritva, hearing, Etad, this, Abhiyati, starts, Yan, on the chariot, Balim, taxes, Tasmai, unto him, Haranti, present, Agre, before, Rajana, other kings, Prithave, unto King Prithu, Yatha, as it was done. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If a king who is desirous of attaining victory and ruling power chants the narration of Prithu Maharaj 3 times before going forth on his chariot, all subordinate kings will automatically render all kind of taxes unto him, as they rendered them unto Maharaj Prithu, simply upon his order. Purport. Since a Kshatriya king naturally desires to rule the world, he wishes to make all other kings subordinate to him. This was also the position many years ago when Prithu Maharaj was ruling over the earth. At that time, he was the only emperor on this planet. Even 5,000 years ago, Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Parikshit were the sole emperors of this planet. Sometimes the subordinate kings rebelled, and it was necessary for the emperor to go and chastise them. This process of chanting the narrations of the life and character of Prithu Maharaj is recommended for conquering kings if they want to fulfill their desire to rule the world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālaṁ pangulaṁ ghāyate giri yatkripa tamahaṁ bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Anandamaya Prabhu and all other assembly Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, so that we can together glorify the Supreme Personality Godhead from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam which will soon bring the purification into our heart. Hare Krishna. We are reading the chapter 23rd, which entitled as Maharaj Prithu's going back home. We are almost on the verge of ending the chapter. And this section is called Phalashruti, the results of hearing the narration. So all the Vedic literatures, when they describe the wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and especially in Bhagavatam, when it describes the Lord's pastime and the devotee's pastime, it also gives the Phalashruti. Many places we see that Vyasadeva has written the wonderful Phalashruti for all these glories of hearing the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So this specific verse today we read, it is telling that a king who is desirous of attaining victory and ruling power chants the narration of Prithu Maharaj 3 times before going forth on his chariot. Then all subordinate kings will automatically render all kinds of taxes unto him as they rendered to Prithu Maharaj, simply by his order. So this verse is specifically speaking about victory. Victory against the enemies, especially. When a king has been thrown as a king, then in general there will be some enemies comes. And it's a Kshatriya principle that the other kings will try to conquer the other kingdom. In that they will become the Samrat. So, Sukadeva Goswami says that anybody who hears this, any king who would like to win the victory over the other kings, should hear this Prithu Maharaj narration for 3 times. And Srila Prabhupada writes, the last line of purport saying that this process of chanting narration of the life and character of Prithu Maharaj is recommended for conquering kings if they want to fulfill their desire to rule the world. So from one point of view, if we see conquering the kings and conquering the other kingdoms, gaining victory, it appears to be something like material gain. And also, so one may say that this Srimad Bhagavatam, Amala Purana, why it's talking about all these material gains? We must know that Vyasadeva is the author of all the Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam. And Vyasadeva has written the Puranas, and he wants to approach every kind of people, not only the pure devotees. In general, the pure devotees are concerned when they hear the glories of Supreme Personality Godhead, chivalrous activities and astonishing activities of the Lord, and his pure devotees activities, they simply release it. Simply release it. Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear from Gajendra's prayer. Gajendra is saying that Atyadbhutam tam charitram sumangalam gayanti ananda samundra magna ekantinam ya nakanchanartham vanchanti eve bhagavat prapanna. The devotees, those who are ekantina, they had one-pointed attention. And in this world, people are looking for dhana, jana, and kanchana is something like gold. Ekantinaja na kanchanartham. These devotees, these one-pointed attention devotees, they don't desire any kanchana, any artha. There is no gold, there is no rubies, jewelry, there is no money. But what they do? Are they completely free from desires? No, that's not required. Srila Prabhupada oftentimes tells that we don't have it to be null or void. We can have desires, but let us purify our desire. What is their desire? Vanchanti evai bhagavat praparna. Their desire is only to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender unto Him. And because of this reason, they could able to release. When they hear the Atyadbhutam Tam Charitram Sumangalam, when the auspicious pastimes of the Supreme Personality Godhead, which are very astonishing, they simply Gayanti Ananda Samudra Magna, they all sing while drowning themselves into the ocean of bliss. We have already seen in this world the ocean of salty water. When we take bath, unknowingly when a drop gets into our mouth, we feel very dejected. But imagine it's a ocean of bliss, not even a drop of bliss, ocean of bliss, and they're drowning into it. So they simply release it. But Vyasadeva's audience is not only these pure devotees. There are also others, those who are potential devotees. Being a practicing devotee, we are not supposed to tell somebody is non-devotee, because everybody is going to devotee. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, another day. If not another, another life. Maybe some life after. But ultimately, one is going back to Godhead at any point of time. So everybody literally is a potential devotee. So Vyasadeva's audience is mixed audience. And for those people, those who have eventually forgot Krishna, eventually forgot about them, their own self, who they are, and how they are related to Krishna. For them, Vyasadeva so compassionately wrote the Puranas and tell them that here are the ways. You want to material gains? Go through this. You will get it. Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Maya Mugdha Jiver Nahi Krishna Smriti Jnana Jivera Krupaya Vyasa Koila Veda Purana. The people, those are enamored by the Maya, they have completely forgot. They have no smriti about Krishna. Out of compassion for them, Vyasadeva has written Veda and Purana. And this, specifically Bhagavatam, you will find this kind of philosophies in many places. So the idea is that it attracts the people in general to hear the narration to get their cherished desire. And somebody says that I would like to get something. Can you show me the way? Yeah, here is the way. You can go ahead and get it. Really? Let me try for it. And with all enthusiasm, they'll try for it. And you'll see all the philosophies, there's a star mark. The star mark is with faith if you hear. So to get that in element of faith, one must repeatedly hear it and attentively hear it. And in the process of attentively and repeated hearing of the pastimes of the Lord and pastimes of the devotees will completely free them from all the desires. Because that is the process of Krishna consciousness. That is the process of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada so kindly tells many times from Brahma Samhita, karma nirdhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. All the karmas will be completely nullified when one sincerely and seriously practice Krishna consciousness without any ulterior motive. And Bhagavatam kind of tricks the people in general. Come here and look, you are looking for your goal? Yes, here it is. You are looking for victory? Here is the victory you can gain. Let's go ahead and try for it. Why don't you try? You tried many things. And yes, true. Let's try, and that's the process. So, we see the repeated hearing is being described in Bhagavatam and practiced by great acharyas, including the Supreme Personality Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to this world in the form of a devotee, he wanted to teach everybody. Apani Achari Prabhu Koila Prachar. He wanted to practice and show. Here is it. You can see I am doing. You can try to do this. And what was Mahaprabhu's everyday morning schedule? After having darshan of Lord Jagannath, and there is an offering called Upala Bhoga. After having Upala Bhoga darshan, Mahaprabhu goes to a place called Tota Gopinath, which is in Jagannath Puri. And there he completely absorbed in hearing the narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam. From whom? From Gadadhara Pandit. And this is how Mahaprabhu shown that we must hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee. And what topic he was hearing? Repeatedly, regularly, he was urging Gadadhar Pandit, can you kindly repeat the same topic again? Prahlad Maharaj's topic, Dhruva Maharaj's topic. Because these are the topics which relates to practicing devotee. A devotee can relate themselves. Somebody speaks a big philosophy which I cannot relate, then the audience, not much enthusiasm to practice will come. Prabhupada writes in first canto in Bhagavatam, what is it called by repeating as it is? It's not, Prabhupada writes, it's not like parrot, like repeating A for apple, B for ball, not like that, as it is. Repeating as it is means one must repeat the message of Bhagavatam or the Acharyas without interpreting to it according to the audience available so that they can relate to themselves. That's what is called repeating as it is. And here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us through his own example that repeated hearing is needed. And Bhagavatam and all the Vedic literatures are kind of attracting people in general, come and hear. And this will give you your goal, your cherished goal. And then somebody may say that, well, this verse is talking about kings. We are not king over here. We are just a simple practicing devotee trying to endeavor to practice Krishna consciousness at our own level. How far this verse related to me? We can see that here it is talking about the conquering the kings. That means conquering the enemies. And each one of us is at our own level trying to rule over a certain subject, certain people. If not anybody, at least trying to rule over my mind, rule over my senses. And each one of us, except some few exalted Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, mostly struggling with anarthas. So for us, this verse is really appropriate verse to discuss, to hear, to contemplate, and receive the enthusiasm and inspiration to practice. And we see that if we coming to at our level, when we are coming to temple, what we are looking for? That we are looking to have simply little practice, Krishna consciousness. Let's start with. And for that, we find that a lot of difficulties, a lot of hurdles, a lot of anarthas are alluring us or misdirecting us, that it tells us, yes, you can practice, hold for some time. You can do it later. Now it's not the time to practice it. You can take some time break. Anyway, you decided to practice, no worries about it. These are how the mind tricks us. But forget about practicing devotee. Even a newcomer comes to temple. What is his goal? Let me come to temple and have darshan of the Lord, seek the blessings of the Lord, and there is some class going on. Let's know what is going on over here. Right? And for that, what is difficult, he feels that when he hears the class, first thing that he gets to know that who am I? The first essential anartha or difficulty for a person to come to Krishna consciousness is agyanta, ignorance. Who am I? And Srimad Bhagavatam tells us that. Chaitanya Charitamrita tells us that. And devotees, while reading that, while repeating that, they repeatedly tells us that we are the part and parcel of Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna. And then, okay, now I got to know that I am not what I am thinking. In general, we think that I am so and so, son of so and so, father of so and so, husband of so and so, brother of so and so. We have so many designations. But the pure devotional service teaches us that Sarvapadi Vidinmakta Tat Paratva Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti. We should take off all the upadhis, all the designations, what we are thinking that we are, and then we can come to bhakti. And Bhagavatam tells us this is what we must learn. The first biggest thing that we should get out of is that ignorance. And the next thing is that each one of us, we wanted to control. It is natural. And because of this, why want to control? Because we want to enjoy. We want to have happiness. But the problem is that we wanted to enjoy separately from the main, from where we are become parts and parcels. That means, in simple language, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. And that is why we are having difficulties. And because we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, we wanted to control. We want to compete with Krishna. Why he only controls? Why not me? I can also control. I have some subjects, those who respect me. But in this material world, we cannot control anybody. Everybody has our own experience. But nevertheless, our mind tells us that go ahead, try it. Feel good, do it. You're talking about all sin, this, that. I don't care about that. You feel good to do it, do it. Who bothers about this Purana, Shastras and all these things? It's not required so much. You get happiness, isn't it? They are promising to get happiness later on after hearing so many times. Right now, we are getting happiness. Why don't you leave it? Get it done. That's what the whole propaganda is going on in this world. But Bhagavatam says that, no. You try out, you already tried, and you already baffled you are trying. Parabho stavara abodho jata. You are repeatedly been baffled, still you are trying. This is what is foolishness. Are you learning the education for this purpose? That even after failure for many, many times, repeatedly, Bhagavatam telling repeatedly, scriptures are telling repeatedly, devotees are telling repeatedly, Lord is personally coming in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling you repeatedly, still you are trying, you are not understood. It looks like you are fool. The Bhagavatam gives us hope after hope. Hear it repeatedly. And then, what happens when you hear repeatedly? When we hear repeatedly, eventually it tells us, let me give it a try. I know, I tried different way, I failed. Maybe I have to try that again. But still, here is another way. Let me give it a try. And that is really required for all of us. And if we get into that, that is what the entrance into the pure devotion service at our level. There are various higher levels, but this is what the entrance into it. When you, Bhagavatam, the whole goal is just to get into that level for the people in general. And when you come over there, what is next you have to do? Is it that everything you got? No. There are so many other things we will get to know. The first thing we discussed, we get to know that, we are in ignorance. We don't know who am I, who is God. And now I got to know who am I and who is God. And then we were in the impression that when I'm controlling somebody, when I'm successfully control somebody, I'll be happy. But that never happened. That never happened. I could control up to some extent, and then I failed another extent. And my desire to control more and more, it never satiated. Is it not happening with each one of us? It happens. Whoever we are, whether we are a student, whether we are a householder, whether it's an elderly person, whoever we are, the desire to control is making us to baffle repeatedly, and it is like making us feel maroons more and more. But here is the process when we think, when we turn our face towards Bhagavatam, then Krishna attracts us. The word Krishna is all attractive. Akarsayati iti Krishna. And how he attracts? He attracts in various different, innumerable ways. He attracts through his beautiful threefold bending form as Madan Mohan. He attracts through his wonderful pastimes. He attracts through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. He tells that, don't bother about it. When you are trying to come to Krishna consciousness a little bit, we see there are the devotees, those are way, way high above in the path of Krishna consciousness. We feel that we are nowhere. Can we fathom? Can we really travel in this path? Sometimes it makes us to really think, give a pause and think, really, can I make it? But Gita tells us, no worry about it. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, Neha Vikrama Nastasta Pratyabhayana Vidyate Swalpamapisa Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Even little Krishna consciousness will make you to free from all dangers. Go for it. Never lose it. Once you got it, grab it. That's what is Krishna consciousness is. So we never have to worry about it. And then, when you come to Krishna consciousness a little bit, we got to know there are anarthas. There are 6 preliminary anarthas that are primarily making us to suffer in this world. Not able to help us, we are not able to progress in Krishna consciousness because of the primary 6 anarthas. And those 6 anarthas are really, this we'll get to know a little later. And then, what is that we should do? Bhagavatam tells us. Yesterday we happened to discuss a wonderful verse from Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, where Vishnudeva was instructing to Yudhishthira Maharaj. In that, Srila Prabhupada writes a wonderful purport. I'll just read that purport. Little bit about it. Here I am going to tell about the anarthas, where the practicing devotees like me are struggling. And Srila Prabhupada writes how to deal with that. As far as salvation is concerned, one is to conquer the principles of lust, anger, unlawful desires, avarice, and bewilderment. Please hear attentively. To get freedom from anger, one should learn how to forgive. To be free from unlawful desires, one should not make plans. Here the plans makes undesirable plans, not desirable plans. By spiritual culture, one is able to conquer sleep. By tolerance, only can one conquer the desires and avarice. Disturbances for various disease can be avoided by regulated diets. By self-control, one can free from false hopes, and money can be saved by avoiding undesirable association. By practicing of yoga, one can control hunger, and worldliness can be avoided by culturing the knowledge of impermanence. Dizziness can be conquered by rising up, and false arguments can be conquered by factual ascertainment. Talkativeness can be avoided by gravity and silence, and by process one can avoid fearfulness. Perfect knowledge can be obtained by self-cultivation. One must be free from lust, avarice, anger, dreaming, etc. to actually attain the path of salvation. Every single formula Srila Prabhupada so kindly made in one single purport, for which many people like me were struggling. And here is the way to do it. Why should you not read Bhagavatam? Why should not hear Bhagavatam? And here is saying that 3 times hearing the pastimes of Prithu Maharaj will make us to conquer the enemies. That means 3 times means repeatedly hearing. Repeatedly hearing the pastimes of Prithu Maharaj. Who is Prithu Maharaj? Prithu Maharaj has taken the role of a devotee. And he is a incarnate Supreme Personality Godhead. So by hearing Prithu Maharaj's life pastimes, we get the benefit of hearing about a devotee. We get the benefit of hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Both benefits are getting simultaneously. And when you hear the life and pastimes of a devotee, we learn how to deal with situations. Here is one example I would like to conclude. This is 9:06 now. I'll conclude within 5 minutes. Prithu Maharaj, one of the pastimes that his whole goal was to make his subject happy. Once he got control over the earth and produced all the wonderful things what the subjects were needed, they were supposed to happy, but Prithu Maharaj never ended there. He wanted to make them further more happy by performing the sacrifice. And he performed sacrifice, horse sacrifice. And he was told by the great Brahmanas and the scripture to perform sacrifice a certain number of horses. Horse sacrifice. And he was about to complete the horse sacrifice. And the last sacrifice was about to happen. And there was disturbance took place. I will not get into that detail. Disturbance took place. And he was ready with his son and everybody to go away from the disturbances and continue the yajna and perform completely do it so that all the subjects of the kingdom will be properly happy. But he could see that the Supreme Personality God, Vishnu himself, appeared in front of him and suggested him to stop the yajna. He stopped it. He simply stopped it. Because he wanted to teach us, it's not that what you want to do that you have to do. What you are asked to do, you have to do. And when the scripture is saying something, but the Supreme Personality Godhead is personally in front of you, the highest instruction received from him. You must understand that and follow that. And Prithu Maharaj has shown the example of following. So this tells us, when we hear from the spiritual authority, that is the all in all. Prithu Maharaj taught us that one must follow the spiritual authority to practice Krishna consciousness appropriately, by which Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado, the Supreme Personality God will preach. When Krishna is pleased, what else is required? Nothing is required. The yajna is made to please Krishna only. Whereas Vishnu is come and he said, I am happy with you. Stop here. He said, okay, perfectly all right, I will stop here. And what he did? He created a new history. By performing 99 sacrifice, he got the benefit of 100 sacrifice, which never happened. So every single practicing devotee can make a new history in Krishna consciousness if they practice according to the authority. And that will inspire hundreds and thousands of the devotees. And that's how the things happen. Srila Prabhupada created history, revolutionary activity in the whole Krishna consciousness for all time to come. It never happened earlier. Is it not? Who went to the crossing the ocean? Which sannyasi crossed the ocean and went to preach? Never happened. Srila Prabhupada did it. Why? Because he is instructed by a spiritual master. He followed the authority, he created the history. And not only history, he for all the people in general created mystery also. Not only history created a mystery, it is a big mystery that a person those who are completely saturated with the intoxication and all other illicit activities, completely given up simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And this is what the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur asked Srila Prabhupada to preach. And he preached it, and he could successfully preach it. And for all time to come, we are insufficient to glorify Srila Prabhupada's activities. We are completely insignificant in front of him. So today, that from this verse, we got to know that the hearing the pastimes and repeatedly hearing the nectarian activities of pure devotee and Supreme Lord will eventually make us purify, and we will, whoever we are at our level, get victory over it. Whether we are a potential devotee, we are looking to victory over other material things, we will get it. Whether we are practicing devotee, we are looking to receive the victory over the anarthas, we will get it. We are in half of the way coming here and slowly trying to get into it, still we will get it. And the key principle for all this thing is repeated hearing, by which we will receive the inspiration and enthusiasm. The inspiration and enthusiasm will keep us intact in the path of Krishna consciousness. That is why Srila Goswami tells in Nectar of Instruction, the verse says that Uchchaha Nishchaya Dharya Tat Karam Pravartanat. We should be enthusiastic, we should be determined, and should have patience. And Bhagavatam, especially the devotees' pastimes, tells all these things. If Prithu Maharaj would have been impatient, he would have never bothered anything else, simply gone and conquered the kingdom of heavenly planet, and he would not be so much pleasing to Brahma and Vishnu. That would not have happened, because he had patience, and he waited for it. He did it, and he was determined, I'll do it, karke rahunga. The same determination all of us, we should have it. Whether we have difficulties less or more, I have difficulty to chant my rounds, 16 rounds. I've just come to Krishna consciousness. I've started chanting few rounds, but I have difficulty 16 rounds. I will get it done. Let me try my best. If not today, tomorrow, I'll do it. I'll never give it up. I have difficulty to wake up in the morning and attend the morning program. I should try at my level. At least some at certain frequency, I'll do it. I'll come, like many of you boys are there. Come and attend the Saturday program over here. Stay awake and facility and attend morning program. Once in a week, try it. And in our Bhakti Rukhya, our devotees, our Kanandula Prabhu was telling, another devotee was telling, they are thinking to start. Once in a week, they will come for morning program every Saturday. That's a wonderful start. I remember in way back 2018, Vedanta Prabhu taught all of us Bhakti Rukhya leaders, saying that let us do that once in a month, whole Bhakti Rukhya will come to temple for morning program. And I remember still Prabhuji saying that when I will come, I'll look into all you Bhakti Rukhya leaders. Then when you come, you should look all the mentors. When the mentors come, just look all the other members are coming. In this way, we'll see that every single devotee is present when there is Mangalarti going in Radha Madan Mohan temple. And you could do it for good time. And we'll come for Mangalarti, attend Mangalarti, chant Japa, and then hear Bhagavatam, take prasadam and go for our work. Even though it is working day, we do it earlier. So now, with all of our blessings, we are trying to start that again. This is how we can try. And this is how Bhagavatam teaches us. Wherever we are, we can go for next level. We can go for next level. No worries. Krishna already told that. Don't worry about it. Just start. And I'm there to make you to move fast. And it said that famous saying, when you go one step, Krishna comes 10 steps or 100 steps close to us. And not only that, he gives the understanding that, here am I, come further. I'm coming to you. It's not very far. We can meet each other soon. And the wonderful top literature, Sanatana Goswami wrote about Brihad Bhagavatamritam. We have no time to discuss that, but the conclusion of Brihad Bhagavatamritam is then Kumar meets at the Vrindavan. And Krishna runs from the pasture ground just like air to meet him. And other coward was saying, what is happening? Where is going? He never did like this. And they start running behind him. And Kumar was coming and he was completely mesmerized. When they come close to each other, simply they find it by seeing each other. And Sanatana Goswami wrote this for whom? For all of us. For each one of us, the living entities, eventually at one point of time, we will go back to Godhead. There is no doubt. Srila Prabhupada says that in this very life, you have given many lives for everything else. This very life you give to Krishna. And for sure, you will go back to Godhead if you chant 16 rounds sincerely, follow 4 principles, and without and strictly, carefully avoiding the offenses. Then this very life, you will go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada's word will be kept intact by Supreme Personality Godhead, Sri Radha Madan Mohan. So I'll stop over here. Thank you all very much. I request His Grace Anandama Prabhu, any corrections, comments, please help me out. Any of you, please, our Shinjar Brahmacharis, devotees, any corrections, please help me out. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Brahmanande Hari Hari Bol, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha, Patitanam Pavunebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.